What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. So what I got going on today for this video is going to be how to sublimate your pop sockets. So as you see here, I have a printed out image. This is printed out on sublimation paper. This is printed out with A-sub paper, and it is printed with sublimation ink. This is not your normal ink. You cannot use an inkjet or a laser to sublimate with. So someday I'll show you guys my printer setup that I did myself, but for right now let's just stick with the basics and assume, if you're watching this video, that you already have a printer. So A-sub paper is the best paper. You can use all kinds of papers out there, but I find for my Epson printer that I use that A-sub is the way to go for my printer. I don't jam up as much. It holds my ink rather well. And yeah, so I get my best prints off of A-sub paper. Of course, with the right printer settings. If you're not getting a good print on your A-sub paper, it's not the paper, it's going to be your print settings. Or it could even potentially be the image itself. And I'll talk again about that at another time, because not all images can be used. I mean, you can print anything, but it's not going to look good. So here we have just some discs. These are aluminum discs that I buy. And these are blanks. So these are coated in a polyester coating. And they're just on an aluminum cutout disc. And they provide them to me with a film on them. And this film protects this polyester coating from getting scratched during transit and whatnot. So you can buy these in bulk, this kind of kit on eBay. Hopefully that helps you guys out where to look. You're going to write in there pop socket blank bulk. It's really, you got to use that term, bulk. If you don't use the term bulk, you're going to be spending 2 times as much money on 10 of these, and, you know, be hurting a little bit on how much it costs per unit. So we're going to take that film off. We're going to attach all of these down here. We're going to line them up real carefully, and this is where our heat tape comes in. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get these all set up. You're not going to see these because it's on a white paper, or maybe you will because you'll see the aluminum. But I'm going to get these all set up, and I'm going to get them taped down, and then we're going to take them to the press, and I'll explain how much I do it for, at what temperature, and then you will see how easy it is to put them on. Alright, stay with me. Okay, I moved you over. I'm going to speed this up, so if you hear me talking like Mickey Mouse, you know why. And I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch how this process goes.
You don't have to do as many of these at a time as I am. I'll probably end up cutting this half off.
Okay, so I'm going to be attaching these with some heat tape, and I take my time. Like in all printing things, take your time. Take a breath if you're feeling too rushed. And this is not a perfect image, so I have to make sure to line this up very specifically. And I'm going to take my heat tape on my finger and have it ready for when I find my sweet spot. I'm going to get at least one down. Okay, next one. Next one. So I found for these the correct measurement for your print, because you do need some amount that is not going to be sublimated so that you can line it up correctly, is 1.6 inches, because these are a 1.5 disc, and you do want to make sure that you cover the entire white part of the disc with your image. And so you kind of have to sacrifice a little bit. You see this black line? This black line is not actually going to be on this. And that's fine. That's what I'm sacrificing. That's how I make sure that I have my Hello? Sorry about that. Had a phone call. It was Vanessa calling about my extended warranty. You know, they're very concerned about the warranty on my hella old ass cars. Yeah, fun times. They check on me at least once a day, sometimes 2 or 3, from different numbers. They all say from my local area, which is hilarious. I'm ready to check and see where Vanessa lives. I'm ready to start calling them back. You know, when I got me a few minutes, I'm gonna call them back and take up their valuable time. Take up their phone lines. Oh, you see that? That's a no. That's no good. Oh yeah, I might be able to pull it off, but that's no good to have that tape right there. Because when you pull up your tape, it can bring up your ink with it. Well, see what happens when you hurry. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it slides right under it. That's good. So don't give up. If it's a little mistake, maybe you can work with it. Maybe you can't. Sublimation ink is not cheap, but it's not worth stressing over either. So there's that one. And here's this one. And you're just going to keep going around and making sure that you're exactly where you want it to be. And I do this on my Teflon because nothing really sticks to Teflon. So as I'm not worrying about my tape, I'm making sure my tape is on there. But it kind of hangs over in certain spots, and that's fine. And my Teflon doesn't make it get snagged up. So my husband's a Raiders fan. I'm a Broncos fan. And we have quite a few friends that are for the 49ers and the Steelers. And the Hawks. My mom is for the Seattle Seahawks. See, that's fine. I want to make sure you kind of hold it down 2 different areas. There's no strategy to it. It's just making sure it doesn't move when we go from the table to the heat press. Alright, and those are all ready. Now we're going to just be waiting for the heat press to warm up. And when that happens, then we'll get to pressing these. You're going to see this paper all the time when I'm doing sublimation. And I think later today I will divulge what this paper is and where I got it. I've been working off the same boxes. I have a small one and I have a large one. And this works for sublimation. It's like a parchment paper. Oops. So we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to be putting these in. And you notice that I have my Teflon down. Oops. Alright, and you notice that I have my Teflon down. And then I have parchment paper here. And then I'm going to put those there. And you notice that I left a lot of this overhang, right? And this is going to come in handy when I go to pull these out. I'm not going to take these off until they've cooled down. So this right here allows me to be able to slide them off without touching the hot metal. If you are concerned about burns or are doing it close, like a close cut, then you're going to want to have some kind of heat resistant glove. But the way I do it, I always leave an overhang, or I can even grab this whole piece out and slide it into my table, which is right next to my heat press. So, now this parchment paper is going over that, and these papers are called blowout paper. So when the sublimation ink is heated, it then turns to a gas. This would be helpful if it was like this though. Yeah, just like that. Sublimation paper on top, not on the bottom. Another one of those, not perfect. So, this is called blowout paper because when the ink is turned into a gas, it will settle straight down, but it will also have a bit of a blowout, right? It will actually come out the sides a little bit. And so that's why it's really important to have something down below and something up above in case it leaks through the paper. It doesn't usually leak through a sub, but you never know. Because we're going to be going at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. So we're really turning all of that ink into a gas. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this Teflon over the top of that. And now we're going to shut it. And we're going to bake it, or heat press it, for 60 seconds. First, let's tighten our press though. Because these are very thin, they're not like a shirt. There we go. Mine tends to pop up every now and then, so I just kind of keep my hand on it. I'm not holding it down, but if it wants to jump up, I can stop it. So there's another way that people are doing it, and it's called the fold method. And basically, they take their pop socket and they put it on their piece of paper, and they'll cut it down to like a square shape. And then they fold the corners over and either heat tape that or just leave it as a folded thing. And they're heating them that way. It's another option if you don't have heat tape. I personally do have heat tape because I do sublimation. If you're going to get into sublimation, I suggest getting heat tape. You can get it at Michael's, Amazon, possibly Joann's. I'm not sure about like the general stores like Walmart, but maybe. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and lift this up. Take off my Teflon. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to just flip these over onto my table. No burns, no fuss, no muss. If you can see here, that is blowout. And like all things, there's always room for error. Not every image comes out as good as you want it to. Most do, but sometimes you'll have one that just didn't press quite right. It might be the gauge of the metal was less than the others. Could be that the tape was creating an uneven heat. Could be the heat itself. Maybe your element's not hot enough, or maybe it's too hot. Could be it's uneven, that it's just not heating all the way through your platen. So there's lots of room for error when it comes to sublimation. It's an exact science. It takes specific time and temperatures, but there's just so much that could go wrong. But it is still highly rewarding when you are able to do this. So you saw that little love tap I gave that paper, and it actually made this one pop over. And I thought, oh no, it's going to be ruined, but looks alright. Ouch, ouch, ouch. It's very hot. Don't do this. Oh yeah, looks pretty crispy. Looks good. I thought it was going to ghost on me, but it didn't. So we're not going to touch those. Those are the last ones. Make sure they're nice and cool. Those are still hot. So the reveal is where you find out if it worked or not.
Looks good. Also looks good. Look at that. From a Steelers fans. For the ones that are getting on board with Las Vegas Raiders, because they've moved from Oakland. And for my favorite people that want it to be Oakland forever. Quite a demand for these Raiders. And you saw that one. My Broncos, I was born in Denver. So, you know, it's like required to be a Broncos fan. Well, we didn't have any fails. Oh, I lied. Okay, we have some kind of defect on this one. It looks like it's a defect with the, oh, actually, I think this is our one that we slid underneath that tape. You see what I was talking about, how it will lift up that ink? I bet that's what that is. I was going to say, maybe it's a defect with the, yeah, there's a little tiny piece of tape on the back of this. Yep, okay. So, remember what I was telling you about, if any of your tape gets onto any printed image, and it goes on there, when you peel up that tape, it takes the ink that is laying on top of this paper. That's why sublimation paper is different. It has a coating that makes the ink not soak into the paper. So the ink is actually just being printed on the coating that is on the paper. That's why the paper is different than copy paper or, what is that other stuff? You got copy paper and the hammer mill. Oh, I think that's copy paper too. But there's like a coating on sublimation paper that allows it to release nice and clean and vibrant, because none of it's really soaked into the paper. So now we just remove all of our tape. Okay, just all these pieces, just peeling them off the back. And once you have sublimated these, this is not coming off unless the coating itself comes off, like the actual polyester coating. And this polyester coating is baked on there. It's a very good bond between the metal and the coating. But like anything, if you scratch it enough, I guess it'll have issues. Don't scratch it with anything, you know, that you can help. But I found normal wear and tear, they're fine. Normally I don't make up this many pop sockets at a time, but this was a request from my husband. He wanted to see more sports ones. So now I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring you up a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to assemble these.
Alright, how to assemble these. Mine came with the sticky on it already. Oh, not this one. This one came with the sticky on it already. This one came with the pop socket and the tape stuff on the back, or the sticky on the back, and a disc. And so I had to take these things off of this big carrier and put them onto here, and then it has a protective carrier on top of it. So I will show you both, I guess. These ones were so easy. They came with the sticky on the bottom, and they'd already stuck the sticker on it for me. That was pretty awesome. So these ones are kind of tricky though, because you gotta get the super thin carrier off of here without peeling up the adhesive. There you go. We have ourselves an adhesive. Which one should we put in there? We'll put a Steelers in here. It's got white on it. And I'm just dealing in whites and blacks, and that's it. For these, I don't want to do any colored ones. So you're just going to make sure you press it real hard, because you don't want it to separate. So before you use this, though, you want to give it like a 24-hour cure. With almost all adhesives, it's like a 24-hour for it to set up after it's been exposed to the moisture in the air. So 24-hour cure before you try to sell that or give it away or put it on your phone or expose it to any kind of moisture. So there's that one. And then here's the easy ones. I say easy and then I'm going to struggle. There we go. So it's got, I don't know if you can see it, that shiny is actually the adhesive. And then it's got a little bit of a lip, so you'll feel, or you'll see me kind of bump it up to that lip, and then I'm going to press it down all the way around again. So you have yourself pop socket, phone holder, whatever you want to call it. Not too hard, not too complicated. I think you guys should give it a go. And if you don't want to give it a go and you would rather purchase one, please go to the website. Alright, you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching and being with me today. And stay unique. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.